Hey everyone, welcome to Always Open on these weeks.
Got these weeks. All of them.
That was a great intro. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about the stigma around dating sites. I totally know what we're doing on the show. Your worst day at a job, a question about having smaller breasts, and we're going to be playing Never Have I Ever as well.
Wow.
I'm your host, Barbara Dunkelman, and today with me I have...
Blaine Gibson. Hi.
Hannah Hart.
And it's me. Your friendly local disappointment.
Oh.
Well, it's funny because we usually put like
Yeah,
the special guest where you're sitting, so it's always like this big exciting thing.
I am the special guest.
You are the
You
special
are.
guest, yeah.
You're so special.
You usually put him where I'm sitting?
Exactly.
But I am sitting here.
Exactly.
You're the
Right.
special guest.
Oh.
Thank you so
But then
much for joining us.
Then I have to, follow that. And
It's true.
Oh, so you always get the...
it's just like, it's
We're
just
always
me.
like, yeah, and then Mariel.
Yeah, that's me. That's fine.
You're like, I'm still here. They haven't gotten
That's
rid of
cool.
me yet.
At one point, we should just introduce you before them so we can make it like a nice.
Like build
I
it
should
up.
get first billing.
You know what you want? You want to start the show next time?
Or they should
No.
do it like a,
Don't, please don't
wrestling
make me do
intro
that.
where they come in from the back and like pyrotechnics and.
It's
We
true.
could break down the windows.
That is how I entered. You just didn't record.
We should have had you come through the door.
There's a hole in the wall right behind
Right?
the
Isn't
camera.
that cute?
Yeah,
Come
like
through the
special
door.
guest Hannah
And
Hart.
look who just walked in.
What are you doing here?
I don't know.
I'm late.
Well, we are going to start off with our shot. We do a special shot out each week, so it's a user-submitted shot.
Yeah.
And it's called Shot Out because it's like...
That's adorable.
Hannah is also a lover of puns, which is why I'm very excited to have her here. One
Yeah,
of the
big
many
time.
reasons.
Big time.
So this one is called The Shot in the Mouth. And it's by Scott M. submitted this, and it consists of amaretto, apple pucker, Southern Comfort, and sour mix.
Oh my God.
You ready?
That is,
Shout out to you, Scott.
You ready?
sounds delicious.
Delish.
Cheers to you, Scott. Shout out.
We didn't do it. That's fine.
Ah. Wow, we made cough syrup.
Oh, it's a lot of liquid, but
that's-
it's good.
That's something else, all right.
good.
That's great.
Wow.
I was waiting. Nobody called me out for having my shot of tofu.
Yeah, I was just about to say it.
Wait, did you just do a shot of topo chico? Oh,
yeah.
right after.
Yeah.
Oh, right after?
As a chaser?
No,
No,
it was just,
it was just
tofu
a-
chico.
Oh, you didn't do
All
a
right.
shot?
Yeah, they brought it over,
Our
and I was like,
bartender-
I'm not gonna drink today, and then I think they took that as me not getting a shot. So I was like, okay, that's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
Oh.
You're
So I
watching.
cheated.
You're watching your calories, whatever. I don't know. Why
Yeah.
are you drinking tofu?
He's watching it. What are your macros?
My macros,
that something that
my
people do?
proteins, my fats, my carbohydrates.
What's a macro?
It's a macronutrient.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on.
There you go.
It's the common response.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
To macronutrients.
Cheers to that.
Yes.
You don't cheer us.
And
Yeah, you don't get to
micro summaries of what they are.
How's that gonna go?
Micro summaries.
Okay, let's start off with our first game, which is Never Have I Ever.
Love it.
All right, never have I ever dated someone younger than me.
drink?
We do fingers. We're doing
Yeah.
fingers.
So you hold up 5 fingers, and then if you have done it, you put down a finger.
Oh.
Woof.
How many
Yeah.
doing? Are we doing 5?
5.
Okay.
Let's do 5. All right, Blaine.
Well,
prepared.
following her very mature question, mine is never as an adult have I ever pissed or shit my pants in a public setting.
Never.
Nope.
I pissed my pants in a public setting.
Go
Put a
on.
finger
Just
down.
a little
Oh, yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Okay.
Just a little.
Let's
bit.
hear about it.
It happens a lot, actually.
What?
Just
Did
like
you-
You a
What
giggler?
define public setting?
Have you been doing your Kegels?
There's like
if I'm at
people that
work.
are around that you might not know. Or
Oh, okay.
a professional setting.
Okay, yeah, but this shitting or pissing your pants in a public setting is not popping a squat. This is involuntarily.
Oh yeah, like accidentally
no,
like.
never. I've never done it in my life.
what? Even as a kid?
Never.
Not that I.
Damn, you got some control over your
She's
bowels.
like perfect little
I think,
Hannah baby.
I think as a kid, I probably had the opposite issue, you know, where I was like, I couldn't shit for weeks.
Yeah. Did you ever have to get a
What was your
suppository?
diet like?
Just pure garbage. Rocks also. Those are not
Cut to
smooth.
Hannah as a child just eating pebbles in her
Eating
driveway.
rocks.
I'm also imagining like a little baby, but with her exact hair, with like the swoop and the shaved side.
You're not too far off. But you know, you can read all about my childhood in Buffering. Unshared Tales of a Life Fully Loaded. Available right at this link right here.
Here.
Buffering book. Hear all about it.
Buffering book. I actually got a copy.
Yeah.
I'm saving it for my next long plane ride to read.
Oh, good. It's also available on Audible.
Oh. Did you do
you
the
do
audio
the-
reading?
I do the audio reading, which was nominated for an award, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, because
Well.
it was so, like, raw.
Yeah.
So
How
should we
long-
have like Emmy-nominated Hannah Hart or whatever?
It's called an Audi.
An Audi-nominated Hannah Hart. Just
Like
put
the
that
car?
in her title.
Yeah, if you're a
instead.
fan of audiobooks, apparently it's a good one.
So you know how I knew about your book? It came out, and Bernie
My
was
shameless
like,
self-promotion.
no. Bernie was like, hey, Hannah just sent in a book. We're going to take a picture of you holding the book, and I'm going to tweet it to her. And I was like, oh, okay, great. No tweet came through. Later that day, I think like Gavin was holding the book, and I was like, okay, I got it. You found someone way cooler.
He was like, no, not Blaine. No, never. But he also tweeted about that book later, you know, when he picked it up, and he said he couldn't put it down. And he was like, wow. And he shared the link. I was really touched.
These are great segues into self-promotion.
I know.
It doesn't even
Bernie
make
Burns himself said he couldn't put it down. Just put that quote right there.
Yeah,
Let's just
I
keep
will.
dropping.
I will be on the cover of the paperback. Just praise for buffering. Bernie Burns said, tweet, wow, I didn't expect to read this.
tweet.
Blaine Gibson did not read it.
Gavin Free did.
Yep. Okay, oh, is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, so
man.
yeah.
All right. Never have I ever, and is it something I've done or something I've never done?
not done.
Have not done. Never have I ever, I don't know, I want to hear something scandalous. I've never been engaged.
Ooh.
Has anybody here been engaged? Let's call it off. Secret engagement? Okay, I'm gonna do a different one.
Okay.
I was hoping for some real,
Fuck it.
I was,
No, I was kidding.
I was hoping for some real juice, you know?
I wanted the audience to go, oh,
Yeah.
oh. But there's no audience.
Yeah, so-
No one watches.
So that-
Get the controller to do it for you.
Oh, here we go.
You ready, guys?
No, okay, that's it. I'll just do that one. So
Okay.
none of us have been engaged.
Just a bunch of dudes.
Fuck. Shit, I really should have prepared more. Never have I ever counted macros.
I don't even know what that means.
Sucker.
Sorry, Blaine.
Damn, this is a ferocious round.
Yeah.
I've never
You want to
had.
go into my story about how I counted macros?
Yeah.
Well, let me
No,
tell
please
you.
don't.
Do
Okay.
it.
Alright.
Do it.
Never have I ever been fired from a job. Oh, damn.
They're all really lame.
Yeah.
Wait, have you?
We have no juicy.
I counted macros.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
Alright.
I also dated someone younger than me.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, keep going. Let's do it.
Okay, let me see. Never have I ever sustained an injury during sex.
What is that? What do you mean by
So
sustain?
I've never gotten like injured or injured. Never gotten injured during the act of lovemaking. I've never gotten hurt during it.
Okay.
Every time.
Have you?
Yes.
What was your worst one?
I have a bad back.
Oh.
I have a bad lower back. Very enthusiastic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it spasm a lot, like during some moments?
During some other
I mean, it
spasms?
does, but yeah, no. I mean, the thing is like, God, I'm just not a very flexible person. I've really
Me neither.
just, yeah, it's just tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough to be
cramps.
me. Tough, but you know, it's hard work. Somebody's got to do it, you know, and you know, resounding praise and applause. So it's worth it. Sports injuries, you know, you're only gonna go for the gold.
Yep.
You really put your whole heart and soul into it.
That's true.
Yeah.
I have been.
So proudly, yes.
Good.
Okay, let me think of one. Oh! Never have I ever faked an orgasm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not once?
never.
Never.
Who are you?
A lesbian.
Where did?
Why did I fake
Okay.
Mariel has faked an orgasm, right?
Yeah.
with
Women.
a woman?
Listen, we got the lesbian side of the couch here.
Well,
and
also
the-
Blaine. Don't forget Blaine.
You faked it with Blaine?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You also no, you didn't.
No. I'm saying he's also a
I
lesbian.
can't. It's
You
hard
faked
for
an
me to
orgasm?
fake.
Yeah. It's
They can prove it.
a lot. I know.
Wait, with your girl?
Not my current.
Not her
girlfriend,
current,
No. But there's been other people that it's just like you just want it to be over, and I don't really like you, but there's other things, underlying problems there.
Oh, you're getting judged so hard by Hannah.
No,
I could
mean,
feel it. That's why I stopped
I'm not
talking. It feels like I could feel it.
I'm not judging. I'm just in shock. I'm so sorry.
I know. Hey, you know what? I'm over it. Life is fine now. It's great.
Well, I think
Things
it's
are
also a matter when you're younger too. Maybe you're learning your body a little more, and it's like you get to know what you like better. And when you're younger, you just think like, oh, this person's
Everything's an
trying to please
orgasm.
me. Exactly. Or like you're just trying to.
Oh, you're right.
Make 'em
You're
happy.
right. You're right, you guys. We should all start faking orgasms.
It's just not a thing for guys, I don't
To
think.
have to do.
Quinton Maris, when he was on the show, said he had faked an orgasm.
But like, how do you?
You can. I imagine that nobody's.
Because they'll be
checking.
like, wait a
If
second.
you're finishing it in a
Would they?
condom.
Just why?
Yeah, just carry a little squirt bottle with you.
Oh, they do.
Oh!
Well, it almost got me in trouble because like it wasn't happening and it wasn't happening. The person was like, "Am I just not pretty enough?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I should just fake it."
You
But
should
then
be
I was
like,
That's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, similar situation.
Yeah, where it's like the person's like,
No,
"No,
I
I'm
ju-
not beautiful, not for you."
It's like, no, I just fucking hate you.
Jesus, guys, this is hard stuff.
Intense.
You know.
All right, how many fingers we got?
We should have warned you before the show that this is what
I'm
we talk
just
about.
saying, I'm just like, man, I just think, but we got to get rid of that standard, you know? Because I feel like faking orgasms takes people farther away from achieving them, you know? Because it's such a standard in our society that women can just fake it all the time. But like, you're not helping out the guys, because don't you think the guys want you to feel good?
Yeah, they should also know what works and what doesn't.
Right.
If it's not working and you're not close to.
But it's hard. It's
finishing
like
up.
everybody's setting it. It's like setting yourselves up.
Yep.
So listen, America.
And the world.
And the world, nationally live in 10 countries.
Yep.
cities.
Only
Let's
10.
not go crazy.
Sorry.
No,
What have you never done?
let's see, how many fingers do I got?
I got
I'm
two
just gonna start
left.
attacking people.
Right.
That's what I
Two
have to
left.
go with. But I'm trying to.
I brought ones that are like fun
Blake-
icebreakers, cheeky little.
Never have I ever licked a booty hole.
I've never done that. Not yet.
Cheeky.
Chikung, chikung,
What
chikung.
this?
How was it?
No
I
shame
mean,
in that.
your
No
mouth
shame.
is just around.
Yeah. So what? Who cares?
Wow.
Hey, you know what?
Great.
No.
It's
No, good.
2017.
Lovely. Have
It's
you guys
on the
not?
menu.
I've had my butthole
Not yet.
licked.
I'm waiting for it. I'm trying to get this started.
I've had my butthole licked.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like once someone's like mouth is down there, it's hard to tell what hole they're on sometimes, because it's just like all in the vicinity.
Would you not have? Do you lose track of like what's going on or what?
A little, well, because it's like usually from behind.
So glad we took that
And I'm like,
welcome shot.
I can't. Because it's
Jesus.
not like it could just be like a swift lick.
What?
That goes,
You have a dog licking your ass?
Swift lick. All I'm saying is that good on you.
Thank you.
And you know, at some point, if you're in a monogamous relationship for long enough,
Why
I'd
not?
also like to
You
be
gotta
clear.
do butt stuff.
I'm a very clean person. While we're talking about eating ass, I'm very clean. I brush my teeth after I lick ass.
after you eat ass.
Just want you guys to know that.
Hey, hygiene, it's important. You know what, Blaine? It's now and it's the future that we're living in.
I feel a lot
Why not do
closer
it?
to all of you
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
that's
what this show's
great.
about.
Oh, classic Blaine.
about
Eating
Classic
ass.
Blaine,
people together.
ass eater. Ask me no questions. Tell me no lies.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes.
Never have I ever read an entire Harry Potter book.
What? That's come on.
That's what I have left for you.
Nice. Well, I'm not going to target anybody. I'm just going to go back to my list of fun little icebreakers.
Yeah.
I've never
Sorry, I
been
wasn't
kicked out.
prepared.
Never have I ever been kicked out of a bar or restaurant.
God
Yay!
Oh, she's out.
Mariel's
damn it.
the
Literally talked
loser.
about this last week.
Ugh.
Or was it last week?
What happened?
Ooh, was this the same time the girl thought you were stealing from her?
Oh no, I didn't get kicked out of that bar. I cried about it though. I got accused of stealing, and it was not a good feeling.
And Mariel's a sensitive soul.
That's a
So.
little
That's
good
a
little
rhyme. Yeah, it's a good thing to teach the kids back home. I got accused of stealing.
I'm
Not
happy
a
to
good
say
feeling.
that Mariel, because you have technically lost or won, I don't know
I'd
which one
say
is
I
which.
won.
She is a
You won.
victor.
You are the winner of this beautiful bouquet of 1-800-Flowers. Beautiful.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, and
Smell.
you take that home or give to someone you love.
Wow.
Maybe your mom.
Ooh, la.
I love
Yeah.
flowers.
My mom is all about the flowers for Mother's Day.
Gorgeous. Ooh, I like that purple one.
I know. You know, this is my favorite kind of rose right here. This little like orange into red. Take notes,
yeah.
everybody.
You're gonna get a lot of those delivered.
Yes.
Beautiful.
They're beautiful. They're so great.
That one.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank me for being a terrible person and doing bad things.
They're not terrible.
but
None
you-
of these things are
but I-
bad.
You got
flowers,
flowers. It's so
it makes up
worth
for
Where's
it.
the nickel jar?
And speaking of 1-800-Flowers, there's no better feeling than making your mom proud. Like if you answer all these questions.
All those things. Yeah. Got kicked out of a bar, Mom.
Whether it was on the sports field, in the classroom, or conquering some other achievements, Mom's reaction was always priceless. Enjoy that feeling again by making her smile with 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, 1-800-Flowers is giving our listeners an exclusive 24 for 24 offer. 24 multicolored roses, like so, for $24. That's only $1 per rose. Simply pick your delivery date and let 1-800-Flowers handle the rest. With a bright and beautiful mix of premium roses in a rainbow of colors, these blooms are guaranteed to show Mom just how much she's loved. These breathtaking roses from 1-800-Flowers are picked at their peak and shipped overnight to ensure freshness and Mom's amazement. 24 multicolored roses for only $24 is an amazing offer, but it expires on Friday. Every bouquet is backed by a 1-800-Flowers 100% smile guarantee. So whether you're surprising your wife, aunt, sister, or mother, or girlfriend, don't settle for anything less than 1-800-Flowers.com. To order 24 stunning multicolored roses for $24, go to 1-800-Flowers.com/alwaysopen. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/alwaysopen. Hurry, offer ends Friday.
I was here spinning the flowers, and no one was looking at
He
me
was being very
spinning the flowers.
QVC.
We saw you.
Like about it.
I was looking.
We noticed.
Yeah. Ooh, look, all
Look
the
how
angles.
pretty that is. Wow.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
All right, so let's move on to our Ask Us Anything question and stop playing with flowers and
Okay.
just leave them there to be beautiful.
Okay.
So this one is submitted by Jacob G. And Jacob wants to know, why do you think there's a stigma around dating sites?
Is there still a stigma around dating sites?
I think a little bit.
It's interesting because one of my friends, she's also a lesbian, and she refuses to use them. Like, she's like, I'm gonna meet someone in person or I'm gonna die alone. Because
Oh my God.
she just thinks they're horrible, and I don't know what it is again, like what she has
Does
against
she
them.
feel like it's not as like of a sincere way of meeting?
I guess so. Maybe she just hasn't had luck on. Like, I think she might have used them for a little bit and then was like, there's nothing on here for me. But you got to cast a wide net, right?
I mean, I think it's hard for like communities where you don't have a lot of reach to meet people anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to meet somebody at a gay bar, right? Because it's like, you know, you go to a club and it's like unst music. And for me, like, that's not really my jam. I'm distracted pretty easily and I can't hear that well and I'm just getting anxious, right? So like, a gay club is like a really hard way to meet somebody. But then out in the real world, it's presumed that everybody's straight. So I feel like dating apps are a good thing in that way, because if you're in like a small specific community, you can find people who are also maybe busy young professionals
Yeah.
or people that also don't like going to clubs.
It takes the guesswork out.
It takes the guesswork out of it. And then you can take that exact mentality and lay it over, you know, straight couples, which is just like, you want to meet somebody who doesn't want to meet you at a bar.
Yeah.
You know, you want to meet because you have a shared love of exclusively hanging out with people who've read the Harry Potter books.
I think the problem with dating sites and dating apps, stuff like Tinder, also I heard that. I think the problem is that there's so much pressure on people to have a good story about how they met their significant
I was gonna
other.
say, one of the biggest things that I bring up to people is like, hey, how'd you guys meet? And you're like, Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Like we actually have friends, Brandon and Paula, who just got married, who met on Tinder.
Yep.
I know lots of people. I know people who've met on all sorts of dating apps, but then also, and this probably sounds weird now that I think about it, but not weird, but like, I know people that have met because they were like fans of the kind of content I do on my channel.
Yeah.
Like they've met because of Tumblr searching like Hannah Hart and like stuff
Tumblr
like that.
is the #1 lesbian dating site. It really is.
Really?
You heard it here, folks.
But like, I love that. And if you're gonna meet somebody at like a convention or like, you know, you go and you're gonna go see this panel of people speak or go to RTX or something like that, you bump into someone you meet, I think that's such a like wonderful organic way to do it. And dating apps can only make that more likely.
Right.
Because it's proximity based.
I think there's less and less of an issue. I know
Yeah.
you use Tinder a lot. Like
Tinder?
Tinder. So good.
Tinder
Love the
a lot
Tinder.
in your previous years when you
What
were
is that
single.
accent? What is that accent?
I do not know.
Ambiguous.
Yeah, no, I used to use it a whole lot. I think the biggest thing that I went against was that when you think about like how our parents, like how they all met, they didn't meet through some like website. Like you found a man or woman in town, and then you're like, I'm gonna hold on to this person because this is probably the last person I'm
This
gonna
is as
meet.
good as it gets.
Yeah, and it's like we're gonna get married and spend the rest of our lives together. But like with Tinder, you have options to where it's like you show up to the date and you're like, this isn't going so well. I'll just go back to the app, and you just flip through faces, and like I think that's a big stigma.
I think, yeah, you're right.
So much choice.
I think we are totally inundated with choice just in all realms of life. Like you go to the grocery store and there's 17 kinds of water that you can drink, you know? And this is just the next like manifestation of that. But I don't want people to feel any hesitance or shame in it. You know, I think that you have to gauge yourself like, okay, should I give everyone I meet online 2 dates instead of just 1 to factor in that first impression I can just go back and swipe for more? You know, just like be conscious with it. But yeah, I'm all about dating sites. I was on OkCupid when I was younger.
Did you ever go on any dates from that?
I went on multiple dates, yes. But I was 23.
Did anything come of it? Like any relationship?
Only just embarrassment. No, I got so nervous, and I was at that age. I was like, I was on OkCupid when I was like 23, 24, 25, like around there, and I was just so anxious and nervous about meeting someone that was, you know, online. And granted, this is 7 years ago, so it was even more of a stigma than it is now. that I would just get wasted and thus blow. Like, I'm sure the people I was on a date with was perfectly nice people, but
They're just like, man, this girl's an alcoholic.
no, I was just like, hey, let me tell you another thing about the future of the country. You know, and they're like, God, you're intense. I'm like, I know. Do you guys want to talk about macronutrients?
Yeah, I dated a guy that I met when I first moved to Austin, and I was like newly single when I just moved here. I didn't know how to meet people because I was in a new country, let alone a new city, and so I went on Match.com. And I ended up meeting this guy that I dated for like 2.5 months. But every time someone would ask how we met, I wouldn't be honest with them because I felt like embarrassed about it. But I feel like if that happened now, which is just like 5 years later, it'd be totally different.
Yeah. Because you know what? The evolution of the storytelling will be, oh yeah, we met on Tinder. And it was so great because, and you'll go into the connection, you'll go into the click, you know? It won't be, oh, I hope for a future where it's not like, oh, we met on Tinder, but so many cases will be happening so often that'll be, we met and it was finally the date I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know, or like, and this is how I knew.
Like, I knew when I saw her picture that she was beautiful and I had to talk to her or something.
Or like, yeah, or like when I saw that third photo of them on a mountain with a dog, that's how I knew.
I knew I had to meet that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met my girlfriend on Tinder.
Did you?
Yeah. I always tell people we met at church camp though, because I think that's a better story.
Is any of that true? The church camp?
I think just
No.
the idea that Mariel would go
I
to
always,
church
whenever
camp is
people
great.
like usually her friends are
Church
like,
camp.
oh, like how'd you guys meet? It's like, oh, like 7 years ago during church camp. And it's funny because I'm the first girl that she's dated, so they're like, wait, we've known her for that period of time. Like, Laura, you never told us anything.
You were so religious.
We had a class in film school together, and I think I found you on there, and I was like, hey.
Yeah.
Wait, how would you guys find each other though?
Because Tinder, well, I haven't gone on. Actually, I re-downloaded Tinder. I will say this 2 days ago. Because Laura and I were talking.
Because we
I was
had
like,
one small fight.
and I was over it.
And she was done. She was like, no more fake orgasms. Give me that butthole.
I'm just gonna lick.
Just right in.
See what happens.
I re-downloaded it because I was like, oh wait, it's April. Like we met 2 years ago in April. I want to see the first conversation we had and see what the exact date. And so I was like, I'm gonna download it if that's cool with you. And she was like, I don't care. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? Like swipe right on people? Like, no, that's not. You know,
That's where she met her real wife.
Yeah. Naturally, that's how I
This
met my
is the
current-
story of how she met her girlfriend.
So yeah, so I re-downloaded it and I was like, oh, and the app was so different and like everything had changed. But I think it basically like you just, like I said, you cast a huge wide net and like everyone that comes, I could set it to where it's like I only want women or I only want men.
Yeah.
But regardless of how I set it, I think I still come up for other people.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Man,
That's how it used to be.
it is so fun to look at your friends' dating profiles.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, because it's like when you make a dating profile, you're like, this is how. It's not only like, it's not like how I see myself. It's like how I want someone who I want to keep at a distance, kind of,
Yep.
to see me, sorta.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, what's that projection?
Do you ever get messages from people saying that people used your photos on a dating site?
Yeah, I mean, people do that.
Yeah.
You're cool with it? You seem like,
You know, use.
My life is unaffected.
There was
Yeah, that's the thing.
There was a girl on Twitter who I think she's a model, and people would use her photos, and they'd be like, hey, like, my sugar daddy wants a picture of me with, like, a fork to prove that it's me. And she's like, here you go, girl. And she'd, like, take a picture of herself with a fork and be like, get that money. It's like,
I love that.
I know. It's like, you know,
I
that's
love
Yeah.
that.
have you, do you know anyone who uses her?
What's
So
her?
her is like.
You're
the,
like, what's her? Well, hers, call 1-800 her.
Her is my new book. Her is from what I can remember, I think it was like a lesbian dating app. It was basically, you could tell like the difference between men and women here because you have Grindr and it's like Grindr's known for hookups and like if you want to get a quick BJ, like just call
Is
up
Grindr also like a serious dating?
I mean, I think that the option is still there.
I've got a
yeah.
couple of friends. I think one of my friends found a serious relationship through her.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my
Really?
friends got married and he met his
One of my
husband
friends
on-
is Grindr, the app.
Oh wow. Please introduce us.
But yeah, so then you have Grindr,
Susie.
which has the stigma of like just being a hookup app, and then you
Right.
have her, which last I heard of it was like community and like like find meetups, and I was like that's the like here's
not just
women who's like
be-
let's just meet up and have coffee and like like talk
Well, it's
about
funny
things we
'cause
like.
Bumble introduced the friend feature where, and I tried it for a
Is
little
that like a
bit.
double date? What is that?
No, it's just basically
Bumble BFF.
Like I think
You
women,
can bring a friend to our date.
come on over. Let's do a triad.
Yeah.
No, it's like if I actually signed up for a few weeks. I tried it out where you sign up and you say, I'm just looking for like other female friends in the city, and so it would only show you other females who are looking for friends, and you could basically arrange like friend dates.
Yep.
Oh, cute.
It's like, let's get coffee, and it's like, it's funny reading the profiles on those women because it's just like looking for besties to have like brunch with and all this shit.
I want to find a bro now.
Oh, good. Bro finder.
You know, I feel like for as much as we like program these aspects of our lives, you know, because we're all really busy and convenience is at our fingertips and et cetera, about the changing way humans interact, I still think it's the way you engage with your life, whatever way that engagement manifests, that really matters. Like you can use any app and get out of it what you're putting into it, you know? So you can really set your intention, or you can really set your openness, you know? So I'm pro dating apps.
I am too.
Yeah,
and I think the stigma is becoming less and less.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I'm pro dating app with the caveat that you need to take it like in stride, because some people can really go overboard with it, and like they'll be seeing several people at the same time. It can be very overwhelming, and you might lose someone who could be very valuable to you because you're just so, you've got all these other things.
People treat
going
it like
on.
a game, maybe.
Right. So
Tinder
like,
is a game. It's 100%
it's a gamified dating app, and that's why it's so popular, I think.
A game of bones. Like boning.
But yeah, just being careful with it and making sure you're not breaking hearts.
Are you saying bum? Are we back to butt stuff?
We sure are.
Oh, okay.
Back to butt stuff.
Back to butt
I
stuff.
don't know if you saw this, but we got a tweet recently from someone who said that he met someone on Grindr who liked Ruby, one of our animated shows.
Oh, yeah.
And then they they hooked up and were hanging out, and he said, "Have you seen Always Open?" And he said, "No," and they watched Always Open together. And I was
We're
like,
making love connections.
Dude, yeah,
He's
that's
watching right
the
now,
best.
probably.
happy.
What if they're watching together right now?
I hope so.
Well, yeah. I hope.
What's up? What's up?
I have a friend who was on Bumble BFF, and she was like, she wanted to meet some new friends. She was kind of burnt out by like the friend group that she had, and she was like, I invited this girl to go hiking with me at McKinney State Falls.
Ooh.
And then like 2 days later, I was like, hey, what happened? How did it go? And she was like, oh, well, she never showed up. And I was like, yeah, because you fucking invited her to go hiking in the woods.
That's true.
100%.
Coach shows up wearing another person's skin. You're like, hey!
I was like, that's not a date. That's not like a friend date that you have for the first time.
Yeah.
What would, like if you were to go, because we're all in relationships.
Right.
So if you like a first date, that's always coffee.
Coffee is.
I didn't know if that was like a weird tick you had. It's like, guys, does Blaine want coffee?
Coffee.
Is that how he asks?
Like a Pokemon named Coffee.
Yeah.
No, because like coffee, there is no specified time. Dinner, it's like a solid 30 to 45 minutes.
At
that you're
least.
locked
Oh, and it's nighttime, yeah. If you want to be friends with somebody, it's coffee, tea even.
in. Yeah.
Well, even just a first date, I think coffee is a good
beverage,
idea, or like a
hot
drink.
or
Let's go
otherwise.
for a drink.
It depends
You know
on
what? Halcyon. Coffee
Halcyon's
and
a
drinks.
great place.
Yeah.
So there's
It's a great
you
date
should
place.
go there while
Nice.
you're in town. There's a place called Halcyon that has amazing, like very specialty drinks, coffees, good snacks. Then they have indoor s'mores you could have.
That's so funny because I learned all about Halcyon at
I was going to grab her menu, but I didn't want to do the PowerPoint.
This episode, no, I'm just kidding.
this whole time I've been sitting here and I'm really putting a lot of thought into it, and I just can't figure out how to plug buffering on Sure. I'm all fully loaded. Seriously, I couldn't figure it out.
Well, that motion is like a book.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
you know what a great book is?
Yeah,
Buffer.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Nailed it.
By
nailed
Hannah
it,
Hart.
Nailed it.
Bufferingbook.com. Is that what it is? Thank you, Bar. Oh, sweet, nailed it. Cool. Well, let's move on to our next topic, which is the worst.
Oh.
This one is submitted by Emily L. And Emily L wants to know the worst day at a job you've ever had. Any job.
I guess, so mine would be, I used to work at a toy store, KB Toys, back before we got out of business. Running late for work, I was in high school, borrowed my dad's pickup truck, racing out of the high school parking lot, bam, ran into somebody. So it's like, well, this is great, this is already off to a bad start. Showed up late to work because I had to deal with the car accident that I just got into. And then I get there, and then like it's a pretty slow day, and then these two women came in, and they're like, they were buying something like a sucker, and then they like gave me like a 50. So I had to break that, and then they're like, oh, can you give me like 2 20s and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I have some extra change. Can you give me like 100 and this and that? And
They were pranking you.
no, it's a tactic. It's like
They were mathing.
they were basically mathing the shit out of me to where they ended up running away with like $100 or $150. It's called shortchanging or something. It's like a tactic to steal money. And it's almost like you got to be really quick, like with the math.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. So then like I
Guys,
realized what was happening. And I was like,
Shortchange gang?
Should it be like the
No.
Bonnie and Clyde of our time?
Because you're gonna ruin a high schooler's day. Because I remember it happened. I was like, hold on, we need to stop real quick. Can you have that money back? I'm gonna just go ahead and like
they
redo
just
this whole
ran.
thing. And they just darted, and I got written up for it.
Oh fuck.
So like,
you got written up for it?
What, you got written up for it?
yeah.
That's
so
not
my manager's in the back, Helma. Where are you?
Helma. Helma's not even named.
Not even a name.
Not a real.
It is my worst enemy. But yeah,
Fuck you.
she was.
Fuck you, Helma.
Yeah,
Fuck
she
you.
gave me a real hard time, and it was not a great day. It was one of those days that, like, by the end of it, I had a stomach ache, and I could feel cold sweats going down my back because I was so stressed and nervous. And I was
Were
just,
you like?
Jiminy Christmas. Wow.
Were you new to that job too?
no, it was like a couple of months. I think I worked there for like a year and a half.
Oh, even then though.
In high
Yeah.
school. Retail's hard.
shitty.
That's tough. I don't have a worst day at work. I have the worst way I've ever quit a job. I'm a big
Yeah.
quitter. I think quitting is okay.
Okay.
You know, I'm like, you hate that job?
Well, thank goodness
Leave
you
that
never
job.
quit on writing a book.
Never quit on writing a book.
Like what book, for example?
Puffingbook.com. No, but like I just think it's like you have to just cut your losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was at this job for a massive. I had an internship right out of college with this big like media conglomerate, which will go unnamed. And at this internship, I just was so soul sucked. I was just like, it was so hard. And so I was crying to my older sister, and I was like, I don't know if this is the way I want life to be, blah, blah, blah. It was actually an internship right before I graduated, so it was the summer before I graduated. But anyway, long story short, we quit via email by writing an email lovingly titled R.E. quitting. And I wrote, I will never be coming back.
So you didn't even give a 2 weeks notice. It was just
No,
I'm done.
I never went back. I quit. And then they replied, and I deleted it.
You didn't even look at the reply?
Wow.
What?
Why? Why would I read about their
So-
terrible disappointment?
Run me through Hannah Hart's mind as she was clicking the send button. What was that feeling?
Like
I was 21.
emotions-wise.
Relieved?
What's Hannah feeling right now?
nervous.
Put us in that moment.
Okay, here we go. Already
right.
quitting. I'm never coming back. Blah, blah, blah. Because I was
to
losing
send.
money on this internship, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, it was unpaid, and I was paying to show up every day.
Commute.
Oh,
It was,
fuck
yeah, I was
that.
in San Francisco, and like I was losing money going.
And not enjoying it.
And not enjoying it, and it wasn't really playing into any of the ways I wanted to live my life. So I guess my feeling was like, oh, yeah, it was fine.
Really?
I also like how you put like R.E. quitting.
Were
Like
you-
as if it was a
As if it was a
response.
conversation.
Were you?
Well, that's because I mean, my sister and I were also having a bit of fun with it.
Having a laugh.
It was fine. They didn't. That was some underpaid. I was not paid at all intern, and it was like,
Just done with it.
yeah.
Were you not worried about like how that would affect you or what you would go on to do? Like,
No.
You know, just like this is no
No.
big deal. I hate this. I'm out.
So arrogant.
See you later.
Yeah.
I mean, did it ever have any sort of impact on your future professional career at all?
I never quit a job like that. I actually never quit another job unless I was like being like, this is the thing that's happening in my life right now. Let's work out, and then we're out. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was the only thing I ever was like, abandon ship. But at the same time, like, they didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also led you to where you are now, so I feel like any
Yeah.
decision you made.
It was a summer. I was losing money. At the end of the day, it was like I'm paying money to invest in I'm investing in a path I know I will never choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you made the right decision.
I think so too.
I think so too.
I've never regretted it, except for the way I handled it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My worst day at the job was when I worked at Burger King.
The BK Lounge.
Well, there go all Burger King endorsements.
Here we go, all the Burger King. So I applied at a movie theater when I was 15 years old, thinking I'm gonna do like typical movie theater stuff, clean theaters or work box office or concessions or whatever. But this movie theater also had restaurants in it, including a Burger King. And so when I got the job there, they're like, cool, your placement's gonna be in Burger King. Me not wanting to work in fast food, that's not why I applied to the fucking movie theater. So I was pissed off in general. Did my training and everything, and the first time I worked there was by myself. It's a one-person Burger King. And it was a Sunday afternoon. And it was like some kids movie had just come out that Friday or something.
Cars 2.
Probably. No, Cars 1 at this point.
Cars 1.
Yeah.
Carson won.
This is a long time ago. And there was like a line of people. And this Burger King, because it was in Canada, had poutine as a side that you could get as an upgrade. And so me being really frazzled, and I was like taking orders and like going back and washing my hands and making all the food and like coming back up. and these people had ordered a poutine, and I was so like shaken up, and I was just running all over the place. I started pouring the gravy into the poutine cup, and I missed it, and it just poured all the way down my arm and my hand, and this is like boiling hot gravy. And I just like was like, oh, and I like put it down and like ran to the back and like washed my arms, and I started crying in the back of the room.
Let
And
me
then
see your arm.
I'm fine now.
Yeah.
I can still
That's a
see
beautiful.
it.
That's
Hot
beautiful.
gravy, eh? The whole lines of
should've
Canadians
taken-
like,
you should've-
hey, what's going on
Oh,
over
you
there?
fucking hosers!
You should have just taken it to him. Just like,
Let's go.
your skin's sizzling.
Oh, that's horrible.
So that happened, and then I also burned myself on something else that day too. And at the end, I like went into the break room, and I told the manager there, I was like, I can't do this.
Covered in gravy.
I can't do this. I was like, I got injured on the job today, and I like showed them all
You're
my
gonna have
burn
to pay
marks.
for this.
Cut to the manager being like, Barb, you're fired. And then this is like her memory. And then I walked in and I said, no, sir, not
No,
today.
sir. I'm gonna
No
give
more.
you my 2
The
weeks.
gravy
notice.
train stops here.
I ended up. They were like, "Are you like? Do you have to go to the hospital?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." And they're like, "Okay."
Because the
well."
healthcare is here. We're in Canada. Don't worry.
It was perfect. But I ended up sticking it out, and then I ended up being the burger queen.
Ah, yes.
that
You
place.
stayed at Burger King?
You worked there for a long time.
I worked there for
Dude.
3 years.
What?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, after that moment of just like, how long did you wait back there until you realized, oh, I got these other customers that I gotta tend
I mean, I
to?
kept going. I was just fucking miserable for
How are you
another
like
5 hours.
still big into poutine or?
I love poutine.
Poutine's great.
And honestly, the Burger King, they have very high cleaning standards, and they have very
good.
like, they take good care of all their ingredients and stuff like that, and they have very high sanitation
Let me
standards.
see this book. What else is in here?
Segueing into
Burger
Yes,
King.
Burger King. In college, the co-op I lived in, I was a maintenance manager.
in the co-op?
I did live in co-op.
co-op?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we're givers.
That's true.
Are you?
Are you? No, so I went to school at UC Berkeley in California. And anyway, long story short, I was a maintenance manager, which basically means like, you were the maintenance manager?
Yeah, I was also labor czar. I don't know if you guys have
What?
Labor czar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, labor czar?
It's like work shift. It's like
What is that?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Labias
it's
are
co-op
what?
stuff. You
No,
don't understand.
it's hard to explain.
Yeah.
So anyway, basically in co-ops, everybody has to do something to contribute to the household, and then there are certain managerial positions above that. So I was maintenance manager, which meant I was in charge of the plumbing and basic electrical.
Did you sign up for that?
I did, yeah, because it paid 2/3 of my rent.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I lived in a house that was 60 occupants, all women. So there were quite a few plumbing issues.
Hair, you had to get the hair out. yeah.
and the
I ran into that a lot.
tampon.
A lot of that, tampons and hair. Anyway, one day, there's an issue. And it's so bad because where it comes from is actually the kitchen. So I basically hear somebody running up the stairs, coming up to me, being like, "Wah!" And I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And sewage is coming out of the pipes
Oh dear God.
underneath the entire house.
No.
Yeah, and that's where I black out actually. No, and then I called the main co-op board and was like, "This is not what I signed up for.
I can't plunge this.
No, I was like, "Hey guys, it's me, Hannah. I got that snake and all, but it's not."
yeah.
Oh,
Thank
what
you.
is
Thank
you.
happening?
This is Bryce, everyone.
Oh, hey, Bryce.
Texas is out today.
Yeah. but
Oh.
he sent wonderful Bryce. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bryce.
Thank you, Bryce. Beautiful. Anyway, long story short, shout out to all the plumbers in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not an
hard
easy
job.
job.
It's not an easy job, but it is also there's an easy job. I now you bend, you don't scare me no more.
I also want to shout out to the Virgin Killer sweater for bringing back the plumber's crack. You know, God bless.
Is that a thing you want to see?
No, not really.
Okay.
There's this thing called the
Well, it depends on who you want to see it on. Right?
It's
what?
true.
Jessica Negri, 100%. Miles Luna, no thank you.
100%. Yeah.
What do you
There's
guys-
there's this thing called the Virgin Killer sweater.
Virgin killers.
Okay, it's this. It's this. You ready?
It's a sweater.
It's this.
Pull it up for you.
And then it's this.
So it basically
All
is a
of this is
sweater
fair.
that's like a turtleneck that shows all of the side boob, comes down to about like mid thigh, and then it shows like it's like a halter top. So it shows, but it goes all the way down to like below the butt, so you can see like the butt
What
crack.
part's fabric? What part's not?
The fabric
I
is
can't
like
even picture this
the
thing.
entire front is fabric,
Yeah.
and like below the butt. There you
There
go.
she is.
Oh my
Jessica.
God.
Yeah, she's great.
She is
blushing.
flamin'. I like how the picture's still up there for me to see.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I'm going to keep looking at
Nobody's complaining. Leave it as it is.
Alana, if you're watching this, I'm not.
Blaine's
Laura,
not
if you're
looking.
watching this, I'm watching that.
I have no good way to transition into this next ad read. So HelloFresh is one of our sponsors. Thank you, HelloFresh. Thanks to HelloFresh.com for supporting this episode of Always Open. HelloFresh is the meal kit delivery service that makes cooking more fun so you could focus on the whole experience, not just the final plate. Each week, HelloFresh creates new delicious recipes with step-by-step instructions. Each recipe is designed to take around 30 minutes to make in your kitchen. The recipes are set up so that anyone can make a delicious and nutritious home-cooked meal in 30 minutes, whether you usually cook for yourself or are not so comfortable making home-cooked meals, like Blaine. HelloFresh sources the freshest ingredients, measured to the exact quantities needed, so there's no food waste. Everything is delivered straight to your doorstep in a recyclable insulated box. I know how to say that. HelloFresh is now offering light spring meals and has just introduced breakfast options as well, and it's less than $10 per meal. We've teamed up with HelloFresh, and they're offering everyone in our audience $30 off your first week of free deliveries when you go to HelloFresh.com and use offer code OPEN30. All of the meals that HelloFresh has sent me have been delicious. One of my favorites is the beefed up bolognese. It was easy to make, super tasty, and I had enough for leftovers because, you know, I'm dainty and I just eat little by little. That's HelloFresh.com and use the code OPEN30 to get $30 off your first week of deliveries. Thank you, HelloFresh.
Woo!
Woo!
That
is dope.
That was dope. It was HelloFresh.
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 Everyone always thinks I'm saying that when I say HelloFresh.
Hello.
I just would like to thank HelloFresh,
HelloFresh.
my new line of super cool wrap clothing.
There you go. As you were saying that, I was wondering where you were going
Would
to
you
go
ever
with
make
it.
clothes? You make clothes, right?
Me? I mean, yes, I knit everything I wear.
I
She's knit this plaid shirt.
Quality.
No, you have a buffering book shirt, don't you?
A buffering, you know, I have a buffering book coffee mug and sweatshirt.
What is buffering book?
Available.
And soon, coming soon to
No,
stores.
at this point, you
Buffering
know,
book,
at
virgin
this
killer
point,
sweat.
if they really want to get it, I know that they will. This is my new tactic. It's called guilt.
We should just leave as much
Guilt, not
silence
just
after
your
that.
mom.
Wait, let's get soccer mom in there. Perfect. There you go.
Honey, did you finish reading buffering book?
All right, now
Now let's get lesbian.
lesbian.
Honey, did you finish reading buffering book?
It's awesome.
It's everything you want.
I love it.
It's everything I want.
It's like the new mullet.
It is, yeah.
But
It's
it's
a
so
side
much
mullet.
better.
Yeah, so much
like
more.
party on the
I bet that's
side.
what they said about the mullet.
But it was
So much more.
so much better
more.
than the old.
This is the new rat tail.
What was before? Oh, the rat tail.
Maybe.
Rat tail.
What was before the rat tail?
Shame.
It's the new shame.
It's the new shame.
Rat tail.
Rat tail. Mullet.
Not just for hillbillies.
Nah. I didn't say anything. Canada and California, back out of this.
All right, well, let's
I'm
move
outta
on
here.
to our final topic of the evening.
Let's do it.
/ early afternoon. Sexpertise. This question comes from an anonymous female user, 21 years old. And she writes,
It's Barbara.
Yep. It's Barbara.
I'm a 21-year-old girl, and I've never been intimate with anyone because I'm extremely anxious about my flat chest. When I was younger, I hoped I was just a late bloomer, but sadly, I had to realize that was not the case. I have a flat chest and not particularly great body. How are you guys with small or even flat chests on girls? Can it really be a turnoff? My biggest fear is if I ever get intimate with someone, I won't be able to fully satisfy them because of this. I realize that breasts aren't the only sexy body part, but I can't help but imagine a small disappointment when they realize I have nothing to offer in the boob department, and I even feel a bit of pressure to be overly sexual and freaky in bed to divert the attention from my issue. I'd love to live the life of a young woman, go to parties, flirt with random guys, or even have booty calls, but every time I think about this, the only thing stopping me is my breast size or lack of it. I don't have particularly large boobs. I'm a C. I used to be smaller. C is a pretty average size. But
That's what?
I'm not saying I have small boobs, but I'm saying
That's a good size.
when I was younger, I did. And I grew into them.
But it's not about any sort of self-consciousness is not about the object. You know, men can feel insecure about their penises. Everybody can feel insecure about butts and blah, 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 boobs,
Yeah.
etc., tummies, yada, yada, yada. So, like, I'm sure you can relate to not having been intimate yet and being nervous about some part of your body.
And thinking that someone won't be sexually attracted to you because of it, because of
Yeah.
what's displayed in the media or in porn or anything like that.
Or anything at all. I mean, I'm sure guys feel insecure when they're having sex with a girl for the first time.
Of course. But
you know?
I've met so many guys who say, like, boob size does not matter.
I think I was one of them.
You're one of them.
Yeah, I was reading that and I was like, that is not something that I see when I'm attracted to somebody. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. That's like, I'm looking for a woman with huge boobs. Like, I've dated all scales of the boob. It's like, you know, whatever.
A to F.
Whatever.
G?
I don't know. It's not a big deal.
XYZ.
Because like
XYZ.
there's actually men that have like that prefer small versus large and vice versa. So.
I mean, yeah, and like, what's preference when you meet someone that you click with?
Yeah.
What's preference over chemistry, right? And you know, I remember when I was coming into like puberty, I felt so insecure about my boobs. I felt so insecure. I was like, when am I gonna get boobs? Because my sister was like that, and it was such a like, it was just so much all in my head. But anyone I was kissing in high school, etc., like, everyone is so excited to be having any sort of physical contact at all that nobody's thinking about like, well, frankly, my dear,
Yeah.
I wish they would even out a bit.
See,
That's a boob joke.
It's funny because I was the opposite because I developed very quickly and was like, God damn, like, I think you're never gonna, you're always gonna be a little upset about what you have, right?
You're always going to want something.
You're gonna want what you don't have.
Yeah.
So like, even today, I'm like, God damn, I wish I had smaller boobs. Like, my back hurts all the time, right?
Probably hard to
Not fun.
run.
I can knock myself out if I run.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's bad.
But you don't love them? Like, I love my boobs.
No, I like them. No, they're great. They're great. But you know, there has been times, and this is the thing. It's like boobs are a thing you can change. If you, we're not saying you should, but they're a thing you can change, right?
And if you
want
are, if it does become a thing where, let's say she does try to hook up with people or does try to explore her sexuality and she is still feeling self-conscious, yeah, there's surgery to fix.
But you don't.
that.
But
you don't. I'm not saying you need to do
You
it.
shouldn't jump to that conclusion.
No, but
Get
I'm
surgery.
saying,
No,
I'm
what do you
saying
do?
there are ways.
Right. You can
feel
you
happy with
compensate,
what
but
you have.
also like.
Society has created ways for you, too, to have an acceptable body.
I'm not saying.
No.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that
Well,
her body's
Yes.
unacceptable.
I wish sometimes I'm like, I wish I had smaller boobs. I've had plenty of conversations with friends who are also have large breasts who are like, yeah, I've thought about surgery and like I'm happy with my body. I love the way I think I look okay. You know, there's some things I could change about myself.
It's just we're lucky in the sense that it's one of the things that if you are unhappy with it and you can't find a way to accept it, there are ways to change it and make you feel happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue, from my perspective, the body is the vessel through which you live your life. And you can love that vessel and learn how to love that vessel or hate it. And for some people, it's like, yes, the only way I can possibly love this vessel is to change it in some way. And I accept and respect that. But I would check in that you are loving yourself foremost before being concerned about how you're being perceived. You know what I mean?
No, I get that.
Yeah. And if you have anyone who's like, your boobs are too small, fuck that person.
But then you know that person's shallow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shallow is a shallow person. They probably go to Burger King and are like, oh, this poutine is too covered in human skin. Actually, to be fair, I think that's a reasonable complaint.
I'd like some poutine with Barbara skin on it. I think it tastes good.
It's nice and salty.
I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, honestly, like there's plenty of guys that are looking for other things that should not be a huge concern.
Do you worry about your pec size?
Oh, I mean, I've had body issues in the past. Like, weight was a big thing, and being in relationships and getting naked for the first time with somebody and being intimate, you know, very self-conscious. Like, that was a hard thing to overcome. But it happened, you know, once I found the right person that accepted me for who I was and wasn't like, oh, you don't have a rippling six-pack and things like that. Then it's like, you know, like Barbara said, you can change it if you want to, but you don't really necessarily have to, as long as you just accept yourself, I think.
And there are so many people who are into all, like, most guys that I've met are into all different shapes and sizes, including breasts, asses, legs, weight,
But also,
everything. They just love women in general. And I feel like especially if she's starting off in the dating world and is like dating a guy, I mean, you can't hide the fact that you're flat-chested very easily.
Yeah.
So it's not something that he'd be surprised about when you get intimate and maybe take your clothes off for the first time. It's not gonna be like, where'd your boobs go?
Yeah.
Because it's something that's
I hope
easy to show.
I hope that what this young woman discovers is that you got to give people the chance to disappoint you, right? You know, so don't start acting like the disappointing thing has already happened. Just be in the hope and expectation that if you're gonna get close to someone, form a bond with them, love them, and then when you become physically intimate, that will work out.
Yeah.
But if you go in, you're like, I'm gonna totally blow off this nice guy because I know he's gonna hate it when we have sex. You're just cutting yourself off at every pass.
Yeah, and you're missing out on a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, she also mentioned she feels like she has to overcompensate, right? And like being overly sexy or overly.
But she also says she's never been intimate with anybody.
Yeah. So it's I don't know. It just she should be herself and feel comfortable. And if she doesn't feel comfortable, then and if someone makes her feel uncomfortable, then that's who wants to be with the person who makes you feel uncomfortable about your body.
They're just projecting.
And if we're talking about like society's norms and things like that, like there's plenty of beautiful, beautiful women, like models and stuff like that, that have a very slender body. Like Cara Delevingne or whatever her name is, like she doesn't have huge breasts and stuff like that. And I find her like one of the most attractive women ever.
But on the other side of that, there's also, larger women or bigger women who
Nicki
are
Minaj.
fucking,
Killing
fucking
it.
curvy as hell and look great.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not about the body.
What?
Well, hold on.
I was really nervous you're gonna
back into your drink. I appreciate
That was
that was
great.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean we've really problem solved here
Dude,
today.
this is what happens with Always Open.
Always open. I didn't know you guys met your hearts.
Yeah, you start with butt stuff. You move into, fucking quitting your jobs.
Buttholes. It's just like, come on, Mariel.
And then you just open up and you just like
You just open up your heart.
you just
Open up that heart.
you end
it
with
all
something
in.
philosophical. Start with butt stuff. Philosophy.
I have so much more. Like I feel closer to you knowing that you're down for whatever.
Down to clone, man.
Thanks. Appreciate that. I'm gonna have a great day tomorrow.
Back to our question.
I will say, guys, that I have not always been such a wonderful person. I used to be super.
How'd you get here?
How'd I get here? I used to be really, really, really what I called judgmental, but was actually just totally insecure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the harsher I judged another person's body, the more I realized I didn't love my own.
Wow.
Truly. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And I talk all about it.
In buffering mug.
Buffering. No, really, I do though. But no, seriously. But it's true. It's like if somebody, it's the
think
same
it's
thing with like
very
haters
true,
and like
though.
trolls. It's like the more negativity that's being thrust upon you is someone trying to expel their own demons.
Yeah, you're trying to you're trying to justify someone else not looking as what you want them to look like because you don't feel like you look like what you want to look like.
Yeah.
And it's just throwing that onto someone else, which is not healthy.
No,
So don't do that.
kids.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. And on that note,
HelloFresh. I'm 1-800-Flowers.
Buffering book, everyone.
another show. Hannah, thank you.
No, this is
Thank
the
you so
end.
much.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
Cheers. This is so fun.
Thank you for coming. We love you guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks
Tune in
for
for the post show
watching.
for more.
Woo! Bye.